if you don't know who you are, society's gonna give you a name.
Welcome back to the Mind Composition. My name is Brian, and I'm sitting here with a very close family friend, brother in Christ, Mr. Charleston Pierce. How are you doing today?
Doing great, great.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. This is great. It's always good to see you and have opportunity to catch up on our busy, crazy lives. Um, Before we have this conversation, is it okay if we have prayer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to come together and connect. We ask for your blessing, your guidance. We give you all the glory and praise. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. So,
Woohoo!
feeling good?
Hey, after I pray, I always feel better.
I agree 110%. It's Sunday. Both of us had great sermons this morning. It's been a great day all around. So, you gotta stay with the Lord, honestly, to stay away from like all these distractions and temptations going around.
Yeah.
You know that, especially
Yeah.
both of us in the creative industry. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the struggle's real. You know, it's a struggle for everyone. Uh, First of all, I want to say this is not about religion. It's not about condemnation or condemning people or hate or anything like that. The reason why we're here is because we have respect for each other and we have a common interest in things, and we both believe that the most important thing in this world is love.
Yeah.
The character of love, the for whatever you do, hopefully it's inspired by love. So I love what you do. You're an amazing artist, creator, director, producer, editor. All the stuff you do, I'm a fan. One of your biggest fans. And so
I appreciate that, honestly.
For me, I'm just so proud of you, and you inspired me. You definitely helped me accomplish some things that I've done. You helped me get published, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to connect with you and talk about this life. Like, all of us are going through something right now, right?
Yeah.
This is very trying times in our life, and I think that we definitely need to have conversations and talk about, how people are doing.
Exactly.
Like, how you doing, right?
Yeah, like how are you? How are you? And everyone's just like, oh, I'm good, I'm okay. Like, no, really, how are you doing? Like,
Exactly.
let's talk about our feelings here a little bit. And
Yeah.
I don't like that when I ask people like, how are you? And they're like, things could be better. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about it.
Right,
Like, we're
right.
friends, we're close, right? Tell me whatever you're comfortable with. Let's
I like
talk.
that. So how I'm doing better today than I was last year. I think last year, because of
I
the
agree.
pandemic, all of us
We all are.
were like
Yeah.
kind of like caught off guard with a reality check about life and where we're at as a people, as Americans, as a nation. Like, are we
Yeah.
okay? And apparently we weren't. Apparently some people had different, thoughts and feelings about equality, about, reality. For me, as a person of color, me being a black and brown man, that I was affected last year by injustice and a lot of revelations of how other people are feeling around the world, and if they're getting a fair, share of justice. And I think last year just woke us up that we need to make some changes.
Yeah.
And I think that, and we need to also, go back to the basics of, what is America? What does that mean? What does it mean to be American? Am I really supposed to love everyone that's
Yeah,
American?
exactly.
I'm supposed to believe in the American dream? So I think what happened, and there's some good out of it. I think a lot of people have come closer together, have done their research, and realized, yeah, apparently we're not giving everybody a fair chance, and some people are profiled. So
Yeah.
I think that because of people like you, that you, when you do your work, your artistry, and showcase your work, you always are trying to be inclusive. You don't care if a person is straight or gay or bi or whatever. You don't care.
Yeah.
Work is work, and you just show everyone love, and that's what I love about you, and that's what I'm like. I'm like, it's not about gender, it's not about religion. It's about, at the end of the day, am I living to make this world better?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about love and coming together. And
Yes.
like, there should be no division. There should be no profiling against really anyone or anything what they believe in. Like, like I literally said, like right before you called, I was on a phone call with my friend, and completely polar opposite views, but me and her are really close, right? And that's because we respect each other, even though we stand completely across, and that's what brings us together in a lot of ways. So, having that understanding of, to be able to accept people for what they believe in, what they stand for, regardless if it goes against what you believe in, is just, again, walking in love and understanding that. And it's so tempting to, like, not do that, because we're so divisive right now in the society that we live in. And it's just like, why? I really ask myself, like, why are we hurting others because they don't believe in what we believe in? I really believe that it's the differences that we hold that really brings us together. And when someone really understands that, especially if they, are walking in love and, have a really strong background, then they'll be able to understand that a lot more, is what I'm saying. And
well, I like what you're talking about. I think when we're talking about love, what is love?
Yeah.
What does love mean to you?
Oh, well,
because apparently love means something different
to
other people. Because if you're talking about sharing, caring, and we have the ability to do that, why aren't we doing that, right?
Yeah.
Like, are we really committed to this word called love? Do we just say it like, oh, I love you, right?
They're just passing it around, like,
right.
Love has this really strong, substantial meaning. And when you say I love you, that means, like, my spirit's connected to you. I care for you. I will take a bullet for you.
Right.
That's my definition.
So it's not the same love that you have for a dog or a cat.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same exact love. And it's like, when I say I love you to my significant other versus my friend, two completely different types of loves.
Exactly. And it's family love too, right? Like, I love you, Mom, right?
Yeah, that doesn't mean, like, I love you the same way like I love my girlfriend.
So I think putting the word love in the right, space in place, like when we're talking about humans or our neighbors, right? What is your neighbor? Anybody in need? We need to, like, kind of define the love and make sure when we say that word that we really mean it.
Yeah.
And it's appropriate for the right situation.
Exactly.
Or, so I'm in the industry, you're in the industry of entertainment.
Yeah.
Fashion, film,
creativity,
right?
Yeah.
So we talked about one of the things we have in common is both of us have a faith that we believe in. There's a creator, and that we didn't come from animals and monkeys and stuff.
Yeah. No.
If you believe that, that's up to you, right? I didn't come from that. I came from the Most High. I have a creator that created me.
Agreed.
And we both kind of, like, vibe on that, in that we come from love, right? And so I feel that in order for us to really be successful in our industry, we have to believe in that. Because, if you're not believing in that, if you're not doing it for love, if you're not doing it with love, why are you doing it? Like, what's your motive? What's your temptation?
Exactly. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, I know why. You want to be famous.
Yeah, you're doing it for temporary things, right? Temporary things. And I remember we were talking about this the other day, like, that everything is so temporary. Your numbers, your audience, your fame, it's all going to go away. Your physical body, you're all going to go away. So if you're not doing it for love, you're doing it for something that's temporary, that's not going to last. Right.
So if I'm trying to be famous, like, what does that mean? Like, I want the world to worship me. I want the world to...
I want to be known when I walk in a room, like,
I mean, to me, what I've learned, the most important thing is when you leave this planet, I don't care how old you are, if you die, what do you really want to hear from people? And I can tell you what it is. Love.
Yeah.
You want your family, your friends, or whoever, your fans, to love you.
Yeah.
So that's the greatest emotion, the greatest goal, is to tap into that love.
Yeah.
So I think that if we're doing what we do out of love and helping people to reach their goals in the entertainment industry, as a creator, when I create content, I want to make sure that everyone gets appreciated, right? Because everybody matters.
Yeah.
The lighting person, the makeup person, shout out to the makeup artist, the camera person, not just the models, the actors, which they matter, they're important. Yeah. But it's about everyone feeling like they're a part of this project, and it's all out of love. And we do it because we feel like this is our calling.
Yeah.
We do this because we feel like we're showing the world our gifts and talents, and we're doing it with the attitude of that I'm just sharing.
Yeah.
You don't have to worship me, because I don't want you to worship me. I just want you to hopefully be inspired.
You want to bring awareness to something bigger than yourself to hopefully inspire and help someone change their life.
So that's a good segue to this question you were asking me. How do you deal with the temptations of being in this industry? you deal with temptations?
There's so many, and I almost want to say that this industry is almost nowadays all based around temptations. The number one question that I get asked as a photographer, and I'm going to reverse the question onto you as a creative director. The number one question I get asked as a photographer, besides, how do I shoot, is how do you surround yourself around all these beautiful women and not do what most guys would do,
Get
right?
caught up, huh?
Get caught up in the drama, get caught up in the lust,
Right.
all of that. And I'm like, and it progressed over time. So, when I first started photography, that wasn't, even a remote thought. I'm like, okay, models, cool, awesome. Like I get to shoot
Well,
with
how
models,
can they
right?
say it about you? They don't know your preference. You may not be into the women. No judgment.
They see a guy with a girl, they immediately stereotype it. Trust me, all over the photography community. I guarantee you there's a lot of photographers watching this or listening to this right now that are going to understand that when they hear that question. How do you, I literally I got asked it 2 nights ago at Buffalo Billiards up in Petaluma. Someone asked me, hey, did you get with any of your models recently? And I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, well, you should. I'm like,
oh my God.
Well, I really don't want to.
God.
So that is the biggest temptation. One of the biggest temptations is, because here's the thing. Most of the people that want to work with, people like me or people like you, all right, most people are, are okay. So some have a hidden agenda behind it. They want to, get in, to get certain things from you, whether it's free photos, free this, credibility, publications, money, whatever it is, or just time with you or just to use you. And it's very tempting to kind of fall under that spirit where it's like, it's like the golden carrot, like, oh no, I love you, I care for you, I'll be with you through this, but you got to do this for me, like, let's go shoot, let's go do that. And I had so many friends that, they would be like, oh, like, let's hang out. I'd ask them to hang out, and I'd be like, hey, okay, we're gonna go grab lunch, we're gonna go do this, go talk, catch up. And they would come back in conversation and be like, oh, so here's the outfits that I had in mind for today. And I'd be like, I didn't remember asking you to shoot. I remember asking you to hang out.
So that's the thing, Brian, is that everyone has their intentions or agenda when it comes to you or me that we don't even know about. And for as dealing with temptation, man, all of us, anybody that's alive is going to be tempted by something, right? Let's keep it real. Like, we live in a world that's motivated by lust.
Yeah.
The commercials on TV. You need a hamburger. You need a new car. You need new clothes, right? Everything.
The new shiny object of the year,
Media is constantly telling us that we need to upgrade, that we're not good enough. We need to get more. So temptation is everywhere. It's just the fact that there is a common thought that because you are a photographer, that all these stigmas and stereotypes come along with that. But that's not. I mean, we can say the same thing about doctors or athletes. We need to all stop judging, first of all. And we don't know a person's heart because we don't have that capability. And just because we see somebody with a woman, you happen to be a photographer that your job, a lot of people like you because they want you to shoot them because they want to be famous or they want to look good and all that sort of thing. It comes with the job. It's a job. Being a photographer is a job, and you go into it because I've seen you work as a professional. And when you're professional, before you go into that business, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be temptation. It's going to be all these different things. And it's not for everyone. Everyone out there can't be a professional photographer. They can shoot pictures. Yeah. They might even shoot great pictures. But what makes you a professional is how many hours you put into your craft and how disciplined you are. That makes you professional, right? And then for your personal life and your business, like two separate things. Yeah. If you've done something for so many years and so many times, you get used to it. So I remember when I first started, I was blown away by being in a room full of women. I was blown away. I'm a shy guy, and I'm in a room with all these women.
I remember that feeling.
It blew my mind. But after that first and second time, you get used to it, and you tell yourself, okay, I can do this. Everybody can. Most of my friends could never do my job because they would lose their freaking mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I think that I made a decision to be professional, to be disciplined, and go into this setting understanding that it's going to be not for everyone. It's going to be challenging. And fortunately for me, I had a girlfriend for a long period of time, so I never had to worry about, other women, right? It's when you're single. Now, being single, it's hard because you never know if a girl's liking you for what you can do for them or liking you for who you are,
Right.
your character. And of course,
Right.
it takes time. So I've learned. Have I made mistakes? Yes. I saw a girl.
Yeah.
She said she liked me, and I thought she liked me, but she really liked what I could do for her. It wasn't that she really liked me, so
That
she
makes
didn't get what
sense.
she want. And the unfortunate thing, when certain people, men or women, there's guys out there too. This is not just you get approached by men and women that want to be with you, and it's a nice compliment. You think I'm beautiful and all that sort of thing,
Yeah.
but the bottom line is that this is our job.
Yeah.
We're not there to meet women. We're
Yeah.
not there to meet men. We're not.
This
there to
isn't
meet
an
people.
in-person dating.
No.
Profile.
We're there
This
for
is-
the business,
Yeah.
the creativity, the collaboration, and also to make money. We make a
Exactly.
living doing this. So, we don't like to eat where Right.
Yeah, I know
So-
exactly what you're saying.
So for me, it's taking me the time to have boundaries,
yeah.
and the fact that we have faith that we pray for our Creator to protect us from temptation, and He has.
Yeah.
And we're all human. If we have a misunderstanding with somebody, you work it out. You talk about it. You
Yeah.
learn from it. But people will judge you. People will talk about you. They'll say things. It comes from the territory. If you are an athlete, if you're the president, if you're the mayor, if you're anybody that's successful and important, you're going to be attacked.
Yeah.
You're going to be talked about, and you can't do this for other people. You're doing this for yourself. Right?
Right.
You're
And-
doing this for yourself. You
Yeah.
made a video that, I'm not doing this
To
for
be
anybody.
in it, to
Right.
be in it for yourself, and that's
Right.
that's how
Right.
you not compare yourself
Right.
to like really somebody else. You stay in your own lane.
Exactly.
If you really are truly dedicated to something that you're doing for yourself, you're not even gonna. Yeah, it might be tempted to compare yourself to others, but it's not gonna go so far. You're not gonna really get carried away with it. And for the people that are getting carried away with comparing themselves to, oh, well, they're more pretty than I am, or they're better than I am, well, then you're not really doing it for yourself. You're kind of doing it to, show up for somebody else. You're trying to, show off and, compete. And it's like, while competition, is good to better yourself, but the whole reason should be you started this. Remember why you started.
Yeah,
know?
it goes back to the why part. It's part of
Yeah.
like, why are you doing this? If you're doing this because this is your calling, this is your gift and your talent,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what other people say. But you do like positive feedback. You do like constructive criticism. You don't mind people saying thank you for your work. But the people who have the negative things to say, they can keep that to themselves.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anything good to say, I was taught don't say anything at all.
Yeah. Same thing here.
But it goes back to your why. And like I say, everybody can't be, a professional in certain areas of their life because they're not willing to put in the work. And
Yeah.
I think that you have a gift. I think that this is your calling, that you only been doing this for so many years, but you're a natural. And I can say that because I've been doing this over 25 years.
Yeah.
And so for me, seeing your body of work and seeing your delivery time and seeing your expertise and that you're hungry, that you're a student, and you made this, it's your career, I applaud you because everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
And so it's been amazing seeing your growth, and it's been very challenging. And back to what we were talking about, it's a struggle. Every day is a struggle because you always are wrestling with either yourself, your family, your friends, your peers. There's some kind of like struggle going on because you don't always get every day. You're amazing. You don't get that every day. So you have to learn from your experiences how to get strength and encouragement when nobody else is giving it to you.
Right.
And sometimes you have to do this by yourself. Sometimes you're all by yourself because you don't have anybody to share with you what you experience because everybody's not walking in your shoes.
And the biggest strength literally comes from when you are alone and you're by yourself, and you have to do it by yourself.
Yes.
It's like, take this for example. A lot of models, guy and girl, they get complimented every day. They hear you're pretty, you're gorgeous,
Right.
you're this, you got strong cheekbones,
Right.
you got strong figure. They hear that all the time. They're used to it, right? They rely on those types of people to kind of uphold them up, right? Uphold their confidence. What happens if you take those people away? What happens if you take away all the things that are outside influences that hold you up? Now what? Now you have to hold yourself up on two
Right.
legs, right?
Right.
And I've had this happen so many times, especially people in my life where I had a huge influence on them, where if I pulled myself away or they pulled themselves away from me,
Right.
guess what? They fall flat on their face because, I dated someone like that. So it's like,
you too?
yeah, no, we all, right? We all, we're in the creative industry. Like, but the thing is like back to photography is like are either, and if as a photographer, there's two types of people. You're a man with a camera,
Uh-huh.
or you're a photographer, a professional, right?
Right.
Men with cameras pick up the cameras for one reason only, right? And I think you know what that reason is. Professionals pick up the camera, all right, to express themselves. We're artists. You're an artist, all right? You express yourself through other people and in formations and in fashion and visuals, right? Same thing
try.
here. No, you do. Like, you don't even need to try. You're over there directing 100 people in downtown San Francisco. Don't even go there. Like, and in photography, same thing. I express myself, the way that my emotions are through people, through art and directing, like a lot.
Right.
So, it's very easy to get tempted through a lot. And then once you get tied up with somebody, then you can almost be blind to it completely, but you really just gotta, kind of take away those distractions. So I think the key point is like, peel away, what is an outside influence from you, and remember your why. Remember why you started in the first place. Remember where you're going and how you're going to get there. It's a step-by-step process, right? And anybody that comes in that tries to interfere or kind of drag you away from your plan, know that it may not. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not really meant to be there for you, because it's just meant to pull you away from what, I believe that God has in store for you. So, we just got to really remember to stay true to our grounding, our why we started, and then pull forward and just pull away the distractions. So.
I like that, Brian. And I appreciate you sharing that, because that's your personal testimony. That's your story. And it matters, because everyone's going to have their own journey, their own experience. Right?
Exactly.
And so, like we said, it is not easy. If you don't know who you are, society's going to give you a name. So it starts with you knowing who you are before you start anything. Like I am, you choose to be male or female or whatever you want to call yourself. But I like to call myself what I was born. I was born a male.
Yeah.
And I was born with a name, and I was born with gifts and talents. And once you figure out what those gifts and talents are, or if you are exposed to a coach, because I think having a coach or a mentor, somebody that's been in your industry that can help you navigate.
Yeah.
Because it does get lonely sometimes. Sometimes you need somebody to look at your work and validate you, right? So it helps when someone who has experience, has been in the industry. If we're talking about the industry of performing arts and fashion and any creative stuff, you need somebody to give you some feedback that's relevant, that you can say, I trust this person because they're a professional.
Yeah.
And they're giving me real, true feedback because I feel it, because it makes sense to me, right?
Exactly.
And so that helps you out, because trying to be a Lone Ranger is very difficult.
It's very hard.
You will really struggle for a long time, because you can be the most amazing person in any industry, but you still need somebody to validate your work, you know? And so I think that, as you said, knowing yourself, having that conversation with God, with your Heavenly Father, with your Creator, and praying and saying, okay, I am who I am. I desire X, Y, Z. I give myself permission. What is the next thing? I must be a student. I must devote myself to be the best student I could possibly be, learn my craft, right?
Yeah.
And no, it's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a journey for me to learn this business. Find me mentors or people that are successful. Let me intern. Let me do whatever, but not be in a hurry. Exactly. And realize anything you accomplish in life, you're going to fall. You're going to hit a wall.
You literally have to fall. If you don't fall.
And falling is not bad.
It's not.
If you learn, if you keep falling in the same place.
It's only a mistake if it happens twice, right?
If you keep on falling at the wrong spot, you need to go get therapy and counseling.
Yeah.
Because you're struggling, and that's okay. No judgment. Like, everyone struggles, but you need to figure out if this is the industry for you. If this industry is destroying your life, destroying you as being a dad or a mom or a husband or a wife, then maybe you need to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
That's why, wherever you are in your life, you are, but you really got to count the cost, because anything that you want that's really considered like valuable and a great something great to attain, you have to count the cost, because if you're going to be a professional athlete, you're going to work out. You're going to sacrifice. You can't party with everybody else. You can't drink like everybody else. You can't do what everybody else does. That's the same in modeling. As a model, my heart goes out to models, because modeling, 90% of the time, you're rejected. Only 10% of the time you probably get those jobs. Some people get it maybe 40 or 50% of the time, right? But most people struggle as a rapper, as a singer,
as any artist in general.
Any artist, you don't get everything you want.
You have to keep pushing and push. Sometimes you have
You're
to break down the door.
They're gonna tell you no, thank you.
And they're not nice about it. They're not nice about it. They're not like, oh,
Right.
you know, I don't feel like your look fits us best. No, they're gonna be like, hey, no, you're not what we're looking for. Next.
But if you don't know your why, and you haven't gotten your validation, because if you can't look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough, I'm a star, right? Don't let the world tell you you're a star. You were a star. You were born a star. But you got to learn how to shine.
If you're gonna rely on other people's approval, their support to get you through life, good luck. Good luck. Because first of all, life doesn't care about your feelings.
No.
All right, life doesn't care about what you've been through. They
No.
don't. They really don't. And it's sad that they don't, but that's just the way it is. They don't care about 8 billion people's different feelings. All right, they care about what you've done and what you can do. But to get to what you can do, all right, to get to that stage, you need to hold yourself high. You can't rely on other people. You can have all that. That's fine. That's great to have a lot of support, but you cannot rely on that to carry you through it all. You have to stand in front of that mirror, exactly, and be confident in yourself. And if you're looking at yourself and you're weary, I'd go work on yourself a lot more.
Yeah, you really have to make time to get to know yourself. And that means turning off the radio, turning off your computer, or just
social media
yourself.
disconnect. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, you just gotta isolate yourself and really have conversation with yourself and figure out the good and bad, because all of us have things we need to work on. I am not perfect. We all have issues and challenges, trauma. We were born with some things. So it's really important to take time out to figure out who you are.
So about social media, I am actually disconnected from social media. I do not have Snapchat anymore. I only go on to post, right? Because the one reason why is I caught myself comparing myself to others, and I actually want to reroute this back to you, but you're a model in addition to being a creative director, right? You obviously are on Instagram, Facebook, social media. You see other models, right? How do you deal with not allowing yourself to fall down that rabbit hole of comparing yourself to other models? Like, what is your why with modeling?
So social media, that's a huge good conversation piece to talk about, because there's so many things that are involved in social media, the peer pressure, the fads, the trends, and all that sort of stuff. So that's a whole nother conversation. But when we talk about modeling, I personally believe everyone's a model, because we all model for ourselves every day. But to be a model, you have to give yourself permission, and you have to know the why. You have to understand the business. A lot of people think, because you were saying about being beautiful, being good looking, being beautiful and good looking doesn't make you a professional model.
Yeah.
Just because you have a nice body and a great face and eyes and the ear. No, modeling is a business. You have to understand that the most important thing that it takes to be a model is following directions and showing up and being present and being able to be vulnerable, because modeling is not just about the cover of a magazine, a commercial. It's about selling. What takes a person to be a model? You have the number one thing, qualifications to be a model, is selling. You have to know how to sell, head to toe, your whole body, right? And so that's why you have to not take this personal, that you're not gonna get every job. And what happens when you don't get the jobs that you think you should have? You have to always go back to the beginning. When you sign up for this, you realize it's going to be a journey. I may not get most of my jobs. I have to always be ready, and I have to understand that that it's not personal.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's been hard. I didn't have a coach, a model coach. I didn't know that it was going to be so hard.
Yeah.
I've been a model over 25 years, and I've gotten a lot of work. I've done billboards, commercials. I've done everything in the modeling business. You can covers of magazines. I work with Tyra Banks. I work with Cindy Crawford. I work with Christy Charleston, Claudia Schiffer, supermodels, right? And did that happen overnight? No. It was a journey. And I'm still working, and I'm still doing quality work. But the reason why I'm still working, because I committed to being prepared. I committed to being disciplined. It's about what you eat, working out, taking care of yourself, looking at the business, following the trends, knowing what's current, studying top models, studying the business, realizing, okay, is there a market for me? What's the best city for me to model in? What kind of pictures should I send an agency? Do I need a portfolio? Do I need this and that? All those sort of things that you need to know, that I can tell you. I'm a model coach. You can Google me, or you can email me, whatever.
Yeah.
having fun right now.
No,
but
you're good.
you
You're good.
definitely have to find somebody that's legit to help you out.
Yeah.
And I'm a modeling coach, but I'm not for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I don't vibe with everybody because some people basically we don't have the same kind of energy. Being a model is not easy. It takes a lot of discipline and hard work. Some people think it's glamour. No, it's not. It's a discipline. But it's doable and it's possible, right?
Yeah.
And when you have a model coach, when you have somebody to help you navigate and help you through that process, it's better.
Yeah.
Can you make it without an agent? Yes, you can. But having an agent gives you good quality work.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're out there trying to make it happen by yourself, yeah, you get a lot of experience, you get a lot of exposure, but you get more opportunities with the agent. I encourage everyone to try to get a good agent.
I feel like you get a good direction with an agent as well. You know.
You just get more quality work.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about trying to get your money. They're going to get the money for you.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to be an independent model, you got to learn how to navigate. You have to know the race.
Freelancing, all of that stuff.
It's a lot.
That's the thing. That's what I grew up in. Like, you know, in photography, it's like it almost is like the same thing. Like working for a photography agency or working with a modeling agency, they give you the work, they shove you the projects. When you pick up a camera and you want to start making money on your own, you need to understand the art of the deal. You need to understand how to sell your work, how to sell your artistic vision. How can you benefit the company that you're trying to work for? How can you benefit the models that you're trying to work for, right? So, you know, in an agency, like you said, they all do that for you, right? You just show up and show your face, or
well, they
show
have
up
that
and shoot.
conversation with you. When the benefit of having an agency is that the agent can the benefits of having an agent is that the agent would do the behind the scenes negotiation. They will give you opportunities to get high paying jobs.
Yeah.
And they will make sure that you get the best amount of money for your work. And those are the jobs that are 10,000, 20,000,
The
50,000.
big ones,
the
not
big
these small,
jobs.
yeah.
So as a freelance model, you might get a couple $100. You might get fortunate and get $500, but you're not going to get the big money.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of having an agency, that you get the opportunity to make really big money working with big brands, because clients do not want to take a risk on a model that has not been proven.
Yeah.
So when you're with an agency, you have been taught how to be professional, how to show up, what to say, what not to say. You've been groomed.
Yeah.
They know that you're going to be reliable. But when it's freelance, we don't know if you're going to be reliable. We can't call your agent and say, hey, where's the model at? We got to call you. If you don't answer the phone, you know what? We can't do the job. So, and the agency can provide another model just in case you don't show up. But when you freelance, they're taking a risk. They don't want to take that risk. I wouldn't want to take that risk. I don't want to take a risk on a model that I know that's not professional.
Yeah. And if you even are freelance and you get up to the point where you are making a lot of money, you still, it's not guaranteed all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't have
and
anybody.
it's going to take a lot more work out of the way to get up to that point than just getting in with an agency or an agent that can direct you in the great ways to go, on the most efficient ways to go. Does that make sense?
So yeah, I agree with you. And also with that is that when you are out there negotiating with a photographer or a client, and you're not with an agency to back you that has a lawyer, you don't know if you're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
They can utilize your picture for whatever they want. So you're taking a big risk. I tell models all the time, do not shoot with a photographer that does not have a website, does not have a phone number, that they're sending you email and saying, hey, I saw your picture on Instagram and I want to shoot you for this. You don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
Do your research. Make sure you know and get validation that this person is legit, because there's a lot of people hide behind a camera that are not legit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Hence the men with cameras part.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really have to have, I think it's important for every model, every actor, every singer, any artist to have a manager, a professional manager, not your mom and dad, unless they know the business. I get mom and dads telling me that they're their daughter's manager and they don't even know the business.
Yeah.
So you have to pay to play. Just like a photographer has to buy a camera, a model has to invest in their career if they want to be successful. A personal trainer, you know. So a lot of people think they can just show up and become successful without paying their dues.
No,
you gotta pay your dues.
You gotta learn. It's hours, days, months, sometimes years of studying.
You don't go to school and get a degree just because you show up the first day.
No.
You gotta take tests. You gotta do research. You gotta pay to go to school.
You gotta invest in yourself. All this,
Exactly.
everything. It's a journey to get to where you really want to be.
There's no free rides,
and
baby.
so many people quit halfway through
There's no free
because
rides.
it gets too hard, or they're tempted in the wrong ways, or they get connected with the wrong people.
Right.
It's like there's so many factors that
Well, like some people think they can sleep with somebody
The casting couch is what it's known as.
Right, but they
Yeah.
think that because if they sleep with the photographer, they sleep with the producer,
agency, yeah.
I'm going to be famous. It's not about that. It's about paying your dues, waiting your time. It's best not to have relationship with people in the industries unless you're really serious,
Yeah.
and don't have a reputation of just sleeping with people, right? When you're young and you don't know any better, it happens.
Yeah.
When you are in Hollywood and New York and LA, does the parties happen? Does the drugs happen? Do people get drunk? Do people sleep around? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But you do what you do until you realize, if I want to be a professional, I really have to watch my image
Yeah.
and make better decisions. I'm an older, seasoned producer, director, model, so I get it. If somebody's out there having fun, I get it, right?
Yeah.
But at some point in time, you got to say to yourself, do I want to be known as the playboy, as the playgirl,
Yeah.
as the person that sleeps around, or do I want to be a professional and keep my personal life out of the industry,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you don't know that. I'm gonna give everybody a pass. When people first get into the business, everybody gets caught up. You get caught up, and you get caught up, and you do things that you didn't think about because you were caught up. Once you get past that part, and you realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't have drank that. Maybe I shouldn't have smoked that.
Maybe I shouldn't have posted that.
Maybe
Yeah.
I shouldn't have posted that. I
Yeah.
posted too much. Hey, forgive yourself and move on. That's why Brian and I have come together. We realize that we're imperfect human beings, but we serve a God that challenges us to be our best self.
Yeah, exactly.
And God helps us to make better decisions, because one of the reasons why I believe in God, because when nobody else was there, I turned to God.
Yeah.
And when I needed help in the industry, when I felt like giving up, I turned to God, because I could have turned to drugs, I could have turned to the wrong people, but I said, God, if you're there, I need you to help me. I need guidance, right?
Yeah.
And even when you have God, you still make mistakes. It's freaking bananas. But the thing about God, he understands. And he's a father. And if
Yeah.
I had a child, my child says to me, hey, Dad, I'm struggling. I got you. But if you don't talk to me, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So it's about your why, your personal relationship with your creator, because you're going to need God, because everybody else is telling you to serve them. Serve the industry. No. You don't serve them. You are there to be a professional. Just show up and be fabulous. Show up and show out. Do your job, right?
Exactly.
And if it's meant to be, it'll happen. It happens different time.
Yeah.
Just because this girl made it doesn't mean you're gonna make it. Just because she got that. Why did she get that? Because she got it. Everybody's path is different.
Everybody has on a different timeline, and you can't compare yourself to that timeline because it's not yours, and you're not
Exactly.
doing it for their reason. They may have done it because they have something else that they're calling to do. You may have something that could be better. You never know. Like, I've seen it happen where I wanted something and someone else got it and I got jealous, and then a month later I got something 10 times better. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I messed up. That's my bad. Right. So,
Right.
it all is a correlation in each other. You stay in your own lane. You focus on you go back to your why, and you really just put the focus on where you're going. All right. And every distraction that's going to come in to try and, pull you away from that, whether it could be the temptations of, in the creative industry, especially with like girls or whatever, or like just any other distraction of like the partying when you're young. Cause like people my age, you're older. You're like, you've been through what I've been through. Okay. And you can obviously give your advice down to like someone that's my age or whatever.
Right.
But like,
Let me ask you a question. You brought up two things I want to ask you a question about. How does Brian deal with jealousy? You said at one point in time you were jealous.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be a jealous person, right?
I know.
That's not positive. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
How did you overcome jealousy?
So jealousy, jealousy in my definition is more just like you lust after somebody else's accomplishments and someone else's belongings, and you're just like, oh, I wish I was that person. You envy them, right? And it does, I will be honest, it does take a huge toll on me then. It still does now. But like then at least I would spend a couple of days just thinking about it. And then I would be like, okay, why did I just waste 2 days thinking about this when I could have been doing something else productive, right? Then it would happen again. Then it would happen again. And then over and over, I'd get more self-aware. I'd be like, wait a minute, I remember. Good for that person. I'm going to start saying out loud, hey, I'm happy you got that. Even though that I may have wanted that, like I tried to turn it around. I became self-aware after X amount of times that I caught myself being jealous.
So was that something that you just was revealed to you through?
I prayed about it multiple times.
So your answer was
My answer was pray.
instead of hating, you turned to God.
My answer, yes, was to pray and release that because I saw the damages.
Gave it to God.
Yeah, basically, yeah, to release it, gave it to God to release the damages that I saw that it could have done to my life. Because honestly,
Good for you.
the like being envious, being jealous,
Mhm.
it could literally cause you to completely do things that are not even of you, just
Okay.
to that person. Hatred, bitterness, even if they're your friend. All right, you get jealous of your friend. You sometimes catching yourself being very bitter to that person. You have no idea why. Oh, I know why. Because they got something that was meant for them and not meant for you, but you're mad because they got it and you didn't get it, right? So that's not right. So that's the feeling. I was like, okay, I'm aware of this. I'm going to release it. I'm going to pray about it. Get rid of it. I don't want it anymore, right? So after becoming self-aware of it through, through God revealing it to me, I was like, okay, I'm going to catch myself every time I ever get that hint of that feeling coming in again.
I love it.
Right? So now because I used to be jealous of this. Photographers that would get more recognition on social media. I know it sounds stupid, but I would get jealous of it. Why does that person get X amount of followers? Why does that person get X amount of engagement? They get featured, they get shared, posted, all this kind of stuff. I'd be like, why am I obsessing over that person? Why am I obsessing over their accomplishments? I should be happy that they got that because I know that my time will come. I'm working hard for my time. They worked hard for their time. They deserve it. Okay. I should not be the one stepping in and doing that. Right. Mm-hmm. So that was the type of feeling that I would pray about and be like, get rid of this. This is not of God. This is not of me. I don't want anything to do with it. Right.
Okay, cool.
And then that was a specific
I have a
example.
question for you. I thank you for sharing that with me. My question to you is, who is God to you?
Who is God to me?
Yeah.
Honestly, God is my flashlight in the dark night, honestly. In one word,
wow.
My flashlight in the dark night, because we're such in a world of corruption, such in a world of darkness. You don't know who to believe anymore. You don't know which direction to turn. It's all dark, right? God is the light that shines, the way through. And here's something that my pastor actually told me is, GPS, right? You plug in a GPS. And a bunch of people would pray like, oh, I wish I knew God's plan. I wish I knew it all right now. Well, if we knew it all right now, then we wouldn't need God, right? God does it step by step, one journey at a time, one challenge at a time, right? Because if he just gave you the whole GPS plan, then guess what? We don't need him. But he shines the light on your next step. He helps things in your life. He either removes people from your life or he brings new people, new doors open, right? So that way you can rely on him as your creator, your savior, your leader, your flashlight in the dark night. Does that make sense?
Wow, I love that. So when was the first time you had that experience? Like, when did you first find God?
So honestly, shortly after college, or shortly after I went to college. So let me rephrase that. Growing up, I was born again Christian. My family's all Christian. I'm raised Christian.
What does that mean, born again Christian?
So born again is when you basically you admit that you are born again in the Lord's light, if that makes sense. So like we're born in flesh, right? We're born in the world, but the world's corrupt. So how can we be, born in God's, in God's light if we're born in the world from corruption? Does that make sense?
So from born through your mother, a natural birth, and then having a spiritual birth,
yes,
through God,
that's
through faith in God.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So spiritual birth or a born again.
So that spiritual birth gave you a revelation that there was a creator.
I would say so, yes. I would say so, yes.
Was it like lightning? Was it like, flat on your face? Or was it a feeling or emotion? What was your first encounter? Like, what did that feel like?
Honestly, to me, it was nothing. It was not a shock of anything.
Okay.
And I didn't expect it to be a shock of anything. Okay. It was a
choice.
It was a choice, but I knew that it was going to be a long-term choice. I knew that I wasn't going to wake up tomorrow being, a born-again Christian and being like, all right, I'm perfect.
Right.
Everything's great again.
Basically, out of faith and confession, you just embrace.
Out of faith and knowing that this is what I got to do to turn my life over to the Lord, and let him guide my steps. I know that this is going to benefit for him, all right, not for me. And I'm going to do it because of everything that has happened in my life. I'm like, okay, this is the only way for me to be successful and do his will through me.
So you would say you have done covers, you've done videos, you've done short films, you've done you have a lot of body of work. You've done many different things.
Yeah.
Do you think your creator, your God, has helped you to accomplish these things?
I 110% agree. Without him, I can't do any of this.
Right.
Glory goes to him. Credit goes to him. Without him, I cannot do any of this. And it was so funny. Like the other day, I was talking with this girl. She lives over in the Midwest, and she's drawing a picture of my car. Right. She's a really talented artist. She said something that stuck in my head. Right. I complimented her. I said, "You're amazing," because she showed me a picture of what she had so far. She's like, "It's almost done." I'm like, you're amazing. That's awesome, right? She comes back, instead of saying thank you, she said, God's just helping me do it.
Wow.
And I was like,
that.
you know what? That spoke volumes to me, because it's so true. You see people get up on stage after winning Grammy Awards, after even in Major League Baseball, they get up to the plate. What do?
Right.
They do
Acknowledge
that,
God.
right? They acknowledge God. They cross the plate. They do the same thing, right?
Mhm.
They give glory to God, because, you know, people that, you know, believe that God is their creator and believes that Jesus is the Son of God, that will give all the credit and the glory to Him,
So that's
because
based on
we are
a
vessels.
personal relationship, you would say?
That's based on a personal
So
relationship. Yeah.
basically, the people who don't know God is that they just haven't had an encounter with God.
They have not been exposed. I would say that.
They've
I would say
heard of
that.
God, but they don't have a personal relationship with God.
I would agree and say yes, that they do not have a personal relationship with God. In the way that in the world is right now, they don't know anything about the truth of God right now, because of the way that it's smearing that name. They're smearing God, they're smearing religion, they're smearing all that. And first of all, I don't even see it as a religion.
But isn't religious people, don't they judge people, and they hate gay people?
We're not supposed to judge
So you're saying that if you are a lover of God, you love all people?
everyone, regardless of your race, religion,
you don't have
creed.
to be you don't have to be a Republican or Democrat.
Don't care.
God loves everybody.
God
Doesn't
loves
matter
everyone.
who you're at, where you're at.
I don't care.
God doesn't care, huh?
God doesn't care.
Okay.
Therefore, I don't care
So
what you are.
because you're one of His sons.
I'm gonna spread
followers.
I'm gonna spread love regardless. At least for me personally, I can't live with being intentionally mean to somebody,
Right.
and judging them and isolating them and discriminating them based off of a race, religion, creed, all of that other junk. I can't do
So
that.
that sounds like John 3:16.
That is
God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that
so
whosoever believeth in Him should not
have
perish.
every eternal life. Yeah.
So God loved everybody before we were even born. He loved us. He had a plan of salvation. So you're walking in God's steps, His Son's steps of love, and
you're setting that example.
Setting an example that, you know what, God's a lover, I'm a lover, and I love everybody based upon my Heavenly Father.
And I'm going to apply that into everything that I put my hands to, all right? All the God-given talents, because, like, you know, everything that in our lives are God-given talents, right?
Okay, right.
It's, you know, we don't create it ourselves.
So everyone has a talent and a gift. God says everybody has a gift and a talent, and that's what you do with it.
I agree.
Some people don't ever use their talents, right?
Some people don't even know they have them until the last minute. I picked up the camera not knowing that I could even shoot. I thought it was going to be some engineer. Okay. And I was like, oh, what? This got revealed to me last minute. Like, hello.
Right. Well, tell us about that. So you went to college and you decided that you wanted to be an engineer, and you switched that career to become...
I switched it to being a creative director because I felt more wholesome doing it. I did not feel like a robot.
Your calling.
And I felt like I could inspire more people being a creative director and a film producer and a photographer, all right, rather than being an engineer.
Right.
And I knew that deep before even photography and engineering. My why, I guess, and I said this before and I'll say it again, my why is to reach as many people as possible and inspire them to reach their full potential.
Beautiful.
The way that I can do that, all right, is reaching them through creative arts, reaching them through visual arts.
Okay.
It puts a smile on my face when I'm shooting with a model for the first time, and they're like, oh my God, these are amazing. These are awesome. Great. I smile because you're smiling because I helped you reach near your full potential.
That's beautiful. And if somebody wants to know your why, or what makes you do what you do, or why you're so happy and you're so joyful, you can share your testimony that there was a time that I wasn't as happy, I wasn't as joyful, but now because of my Creator letting me know who I am and loving me and giving me his joy, his peace, now I can share that through my creative work, right? And that when we see Brian smiling, it's because somebody or something is inside of him that's giving him this amazing energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say that?
I would say that too. And I've had that encounter before where I've met people that just glow. They have this natural glow in the modeling agency and in just life in general. They just they emit this light from them in their personality, in their smile, in their eyes. And it's, you don't find that anywhere else. And every single time you meet a person like that, guess what? They're for the Lord.
Right.
Because that's not I can tell you right now, that light is not of this world. So I believe that, you know, everything that you have accomplished, everything that I've accomplished, everyone else has accomplished, you know, they have their own life journeys, you know, along the way. But I agree that, you know, and in agreement that with everything, with the temptations, with all the distractions and everything, that, you know, for people like you and me and people that are for the Lord, if you keep God first, you're going to excel in anything you put your hands to. And these distractions, these jealousies, these temptations will just be no more.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
What I've learned too, to add what you're saying, is that regardless of, you know, your stand with knowing God, believing in God, being an actor, being a model, being a photographer, there's temptations, and there's going to be temptations, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being tempted. It's it's reacting to the temptations.
Yeah.
And so I think all of us have gotten caught up with temptation. The thing about temptation is that anything that controls you, that masters you, can destroy you.
Yeah.
And the thing I think about when we talk about God, he's always promoting our best self, our best life. He said, "I come to give you abundant life."
Yeah.
But the world has a worldly love that they will lift you up and applaud you when you're successful, but then when you fail, right? They condemn you.
Literally.
They if you're winning, if you're an athlete, if you are a star and you're winning the game, we love you. But then if you don't win, then they say you suck.
Yeah.
And if you're a model, it's like, why aren't you modeling anymore? You did this. You know, they're always judging you and always putting pressure on you.
It's all judgment.
So what I like is that when you have a relationship with a creator that doesn't care about your success as a model or as an actor or being rich or famous, all God cares about, what I learned about God is that, are you happy? Are you using your gift and talent in life to help other people? Are you loving somebody? If you pour in love in somebody's life.
Yeah.
And as a Christian people, we realize we struggle. Sometimes we don't feel like loving people,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes people do things to us. They flip us off. They lie on us. They treat us bad,
Yeah.
and it hurts, right? But we are taught to forgive them and pray for them. So instead of being like the world teaches you, somebody hits you, hit them back. We pray for people.
And you love them.
You love them. Turn the other cheek. Forgive them. And
Exactly.
sometimes we make a mistake. Sometimes we fight back.
Yeah.
Sometimes we cuss back.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we feel like getting drunk. A lot of times we feel like getting drunk because it's very, people think, being a Christian or trying to be like God, it's not easy.
Not at all.
It's not easy. We have this thing called your flesh. It's
Yeah.
the spirit and flesh. So that flesh that is inherited by Adam and Eve, who
Yeah.
ate the fruit, that flesh doesn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
So through the spirit, you talked about God's spirit, he gives you the desire to want to be right and do right. But it's a
Exactly.
process. Born again, that means you got to learn all over again how to live this life the way Jesus Christ says live it. And that takes time.
Exactly.
So if you see a Christian that falls, that makes mistakes, that commits a sin, you know what? Pray for that person.
Love them.
Give that person a chance, because guess what? Everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly.
But the thing about a Christian person, they're going to learn from that mistake. They're going to keep on trying to be their best self to overcome that, because they can with God's help and
Yeah.
not giving up. To sum it up, it's a journey. And if you start off with knowing who you are, having your own personal relationship with your creator, and praying for guidance and praying for direction, and trying to be yourself, best self for the right reasons, you're going to
Yeah.
be fine. And give yourself a break. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to hit the wall. You're going to probably want to quit. You might feel like, you know what, if this is for you, I guarantee, give yourself some time. And if it's your destiny, it'll all come together in due time. Find a mentor. Find somebody to give you some really, really good feedback and constructive criticism that has experience in this industry. Ask for help. Help will come. And I had no idea I would be where I'm at today. I wanted to give up. I was frustrated. I got rejected. I hit walls. I was feeling all these different things that weren't true, because sometimes we think it's that person, and then we don't think we're good enough. No.
Yeah.
It's timing and chance. And so have a plan A, B, C, D, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's awesome when it works. Well, it's awesome. You can make a lot of money. You can do some really great work. You can meet some amazing people.
Yeah.
There's also people there who just want to take from you. They don't care about you. They might smile. They might say they're your friend.
Those are the people you got to wean out.
You don't even know. You will
Yeah.
get, I've been betrayed. I've been lied on. I've been talked about.
Same here.
And guess what? I forgive those people, because when I signed up for this, I didn't really know what I was doing, but now I know. Like, when you sign up for this, it's not going to be fun all the time.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be a journey, and don't be in a hurry. And LA is not for everybody. New York's not for everybody. You got to find your own market. You got to find your own, what kind of model am I? What kind of photographer am I? Am I a commercial?
Yeah.
Am I print? Am I high fashion? Am I lifestyle? What am I? And what markets are best for me. So it's a journey. You got to do your research. You got to hang in there. You got to
push through
meet
it.
somebody that's going to really give you the truth, because it's going to set you free.
Yeah.
But like I said, when it works, it's amazing. I'm so happy I didn't give up, because I met so many incredible people. And I met you, Brian.
Yeah.
You're one of the most incredible people I had the
Thank
opportunity
you.
to meet. You're welcome. If I would have gave up, I would have never met you. We never
Same
been
thing
able
here.
to do some of the publications we've done together.
Everything happens.
But
for a reason.
I thank God to our Creator for bringing us together, because all things work together for those who believe. And so it's working for us, and it's not easy for us. We both struggle sometimes, but we both pray.
Absolutely.
And so I just encourage those that are out there that are trying to be their best self in the industry, that don't give up, pray about it, and take your time. Don't be in a hurry, because greatness doesn't happen overnight.
Life's a journey. It's never
Life
a
is a journey.
destination. It's
Yes.
always going to be a journey. And now it's your choice along the journey to decide what you're going to do,
Yes.
what you're going to let pull away from
Yes.
what you're trying to go, and
Yes.
who you're going to let control your life. So, I think we covered a really good amount of topics
Woo-hoo!
on, our whys and
Cha-cha-cha,
everything
cha-cha-cha.
like that. People got to, hear and
Man, I'm
listen
so
to.
proud of you, man. I'm so happy that we have each other. And like we were saying, like, find a network of people who are not just going to love you because they think you're fabulous, because they really are people
They love you for you.
for you who you are, but
Yeah.
also people that can give you that feedback. Like, you can say, well, how do you think I'm doing? If I'm a model, I want a professional model friend to say, hey, look at my pictures.
Yeah.
If I'm a photographer, look at my portfolio, right? Iron sharpens iron. So you have to be around people that's going to
They're
give
going
you
to sharpen you
feedback
and help you
that-
be better.
that help you be better. And it's okay to not have great work. It's okay to be where you're at right now. Just don't stay there.
Yeah. Just
You know?
keep pushing forward.
Right.
If you
Sometimes
make a
gotta take
mistake,
break.
just pick yourself up and you're definitely
And
going
it's okay
forward,
to take breaks. It's okay to take classes. Like, take fashion classes, photography classes. We're online. Do whatever you need to do to be your best self, but don't think it's going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's a journey. And be nice out there. Like, be nice, be polite, respect people, appreciate the people who helped you get where you're at. Your
Yeah.
teachers, your parents, everybody matters. So learn to stay humble and respectful, and don't seek to be famous. Seek to be your best self.
Exactly.
Don't seek to be famous and rich. No, seek to be your best self.
Because all that'll go away, but you're
Passes
yourself.
away. But what
Yeah.
you really do for others, serve others, help others. Be a role model. Be a photographer. Like you said, you want to help people be their best self, to see their best self. And you know what? Give glory to your Creator, because the person that created you made you beautiful, gave you those eyes, those ears, that body is God.
Yeah.
So not to sound religious, but you definitely need faith.
100%. I agree on that.
Thank you for the
I feel
opportunity to share, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No, faith is definitely definitely what's going to keep us grounded. 100%.
That's why I'm here. Without that, man, I wouldn't even want to live. Like, without my relationship with God, I couldn't do this. And I asked God to bless me. Like, some of the jobs I have done, I asked God to bless me, and I've been blessed. I'm so blessed, so thankful. And I know that it's all because God has no respect to person. God loves all of us, and He helps those who ask.
Absolutely.
Don't.
100%.
It's nothing wrong with saying,
You never.
help.
You don't
Help.
receive unless you ask.
You gotta ask.
Yeah.
You have not because you ask not. Help, and
Yeah.
help come.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, yeah, exactly. You don't get unless you ask. And everything you said has been spot on with everything that I was thinking originally, and what a lot of people out there are probably thinking as well. So thank you again for sharing on this one. We've definitely wrapped up some really good, strong ideas on this episode. So we're definitely gonna have some more in the future. But
we could talk some more.
We'll wrap up this one.
Okay.
For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, thank you again. My name is Brian. This is Charleston Pierce. This is the Mind Composition. You can listen to these podcasts on Apple and Spotify, or watch the full YouTube versions on YouTube as well, and Instagram TV. So we will catch you guys on the next one.
Pieces.
Peace out, guys.